Then it hit me. I remembered that during the bell, we all ran to this classroom, and Tom was the first to enter. Combining this with the teacher's statement about the person with the doll breaking the rule, Tom's reaction made sense. Perhaps the doll was originally in Tom's desk. After finding it smiling, he got scared and didn't report it, so he planted it in my desk to frame me. Tom had been breaking the rules all along. But what did the teacher mean by killer? The doll's smile indicated the person with it was the killer. But now Tom was dead. He couldn't have been orchestrating everything. I stared out the window, feeling a strange familiarity. All these events seemed oddly discordant. Why did this feel so familiar? Then I realized. Nora's death had been a fall from a building, just like Tom's. The teacher wasn't referring to the person who killed Alex and Emily or manipulated these events. She meant the person who killed Nora. I glanced at the homeroom teacher, only to find her staring at me. Her gaze was icy, like looking at a dead person. My heart skipped a beat. Suddenly, the teacher pointed at me. Jianghan pushed Tom. I saw it with my own eyes. She is the killer. I realized then. The teacher who pushed Tom was trying to frame me. During the blackout, only the teacher and I were near Tom. And the shadow that locked us in the abandoned classroom, which felt familiar, must have been her. The homeroom teacher was the mastermind. No, you're the killer. You're seeking revenge for Nora. What's your relation to her? What really happened back then? I confronted her coldly. A tense standoff ensued, with everyone's eyes shifting between us, on high alert. I shouted, "Did you forget we were locked in the abandoned classroom? I was with you. How could I be the killer? All the events that happened today, in this building, it's only us and the homeroom teacher. Who else could have locked us in the classroom? Isn't it obvious?" Everyone turned to look at the homeroom teacher, realization dawning on their faces. The teacher just sneered, "Jianghan, your acting is convincing. I know you have an accomplice. Remember, every victim was discovered by you. Isn't that too coincidental?" Someone in the crowd suggested, "Let's tie them both up and call the police." The realization hit me like a cold wave. Everything made sense now. No, we can't just tie us up. There's another culprit among us. If we don't find them, we're all in danger. Without waiting for a reaction, I seized the moment to dash out. I had to catch the other killer. As I ran, I called the police, but it would take them 15 minutes to arrive. Sweat trickled down my forehead. If I could just survive these 15 minutes, I might make it. Reaching the abandoned classroom, I confronted the familiar figure in front of me. "Jian Lila, so it was you all along." Jian Lila, presumed dead by everyone, stood before me, her expression icy. "How did you know it was me?" she asked flatly, devoid of emotion. "Because the cause of death didn't match." The events of the day had seemed strange and familiar, but I couldn't pinpoint the anomaly until someone mentioned calling the police. It clicked then. Jian Lila's supposed death was staged. She feigned death to prevent us from calling the police. Though we were monitored, it was hard to constantly watch, and controlling the signal jammer wasn't foolproof. She had orchestrated her death to instill in us the belief that calling the police was fatal. In the midst of the chaos and fear, with our adolescent minds, we never questioned the strangeness of it all. Everyone subconsciously believed calling the police was a death sentence, as was breaking the classroom rules. If not for finding Nora's diary and Tom's subsequent death, I might not have realized. The pattern of the deaths mirrored Nora's experiences as described in her diary: bullying, betrayal, and ultimately a fall from a height. But Jian Lila's death was unrelated to Nora's experiences. Indeed, you're sharp, Jian Lila said with a cold laugh. Why did you do this? If you knew who killed Nora, why not go to the police? Her laughter turned manic. Go to the police? Without evidence, and considering their age. But my sister was dead. How could I just let it go? In the ensuing moments, Jian Lila revealed the events of the past. Jian Lila and Nora were twins, yet they were as different as day and night. Lila was fair and beautiful, the epitome of innocence, while Nora suffered from a facial birthmark and a sallow complexion, often being mocked as a clown. Their personalities were also starkly opposite. Lila was outgoing and smart, excelling in her studies, whereas Nora was introverted and struggled with her self-esteem and mediocre grades. Lila was the elder sister, and Nora the younger. Their parents divorced when they were in primary school. Each parent took one child, and Lila changed her surname to match her mother's, who was actually the homeroom teacher in their story. Nora lived with their alcoholic father, who verbally and physically abused her, always criticizing her appearance and considering her a burden. Despite this, he refused to let Nora live with their mother, only keeping her for the child support payments. Despite the divorce, Lila and Nora remained close, with Lila frequently visiting. However, their meetings dwindled during junior high. Lila initially thought Nora was just busy with studies, until that fateful day. December 28, 2016, Nora's death day. They had planned to celebrate their birthdays together at their secret hideout, an abandoned building in the old district. They used to sit on the rooftop, stargazing and dreaming of the future. Nora had aspirations of getting plastic surgery, yearning to be ordinary. However, that birthday wish was buried with her that rainy night. Lila, worried about Nora, went to their hideout only to witness a group of people, including Tom, surrounding and shoving a girl on the rooftop, accompanied by mocking and insults. A flash of lightning revealed the horrifying truth: the girl was Nora, and she was pushed off the rooftop by Tom. Lila rushed to the scene, but Tom and the others had fled, and the heavy rain washed away any traces of evidence. The abandoned building had no surveillance, leaving no evidence but Nora's lifeless body. Lila was torn between wanting the culprits caught and punished and wishing they escaped justice so she could avenge Nora herself. While collecting Nora's body, they found her diary at her residence, revealing the bullying she endured for an entire year. She lived in despair and pain, unwilling to tell Lila for fear of causing her trouble. Nora hoped for relief each sunset, believing endurance would see her through. But after a harsh winter, Nora was gone from this world. Standing in the abandoned classroom, watching Lila immersed in grief, I was at a loss for words. The people who bullied Nora are dead, and there's no need for more violence. Nora had nothing to do with us. Lila smirked meaningfully. True, but do you think you can escape? I was puzzled. Then, the police arrived, and Lila was apprehended. As she was led away, she gave me a triumphant look, chilling me to the bone. Officer, there's another culprit in the high school second-year classroom on the 4th floor, I said urgently, grabbing the officer's sleeve. As we approached the classroom, my unease grew, especially recalling Lila's last smile. Suddenly, the smell of smoke filled the air. The classroom was on fire, and the door was locked from inside. I kicked at the door, hearing cries from within. "We didn't mean to kill your daughter. It was just a prank gone wrong." It was Tom who pushed her, not us. "Please, let us go. We didn't mean to bully her. We're sorry." The door was finally broken open, revealing the teacher, who coldly said, "How does it feel to burn? That pain is what my daughter felt when you burned her with cigarettes." The fire was extinguished quickly, but the teacher and several students were hospitalized for carbon monoxide inhalation. The students' physical injuries would heal, but the scars would remain. The teacher, diagnosed with late-stage lung cancer, worsened by the smoke inhalation, didn't survive. Lila was sentenced to life imprisonment for premeditated murder. A year later, after my high school exams, I visited Lila in prison. She expressed regret for inviting Nora to the hideout that day, believing it led to the subsequent tragedy. I remained silent, unable to condone Lila's actions, yet aware that the true wrongdoers were the bullies.
Thank you for taking the time to watch. If this video connected with you, I'd be grateful for your follow. Your likes and comments are not just numbers to me, they're a source of inspiration and encouragement. Your support truly means the world.